my revolutionary leadership community. I'm Marcus Pierre, and I'm here with Antwan Butler, and we are excited to do another episode of From Leadership to Legacy. And we have some great information that we want to share with you guys. Last episode, we started our discussion on how to develop good character. And we just want to kind of go back into that particular discussion because some information we just kind of want to share. And Antoine, I want to ask you a question regarding developing good character. What are some things that you feel like would be considered required, or some things that's necessary to develop good character?
I think that's a good question. I think we probably would have to start with the piece about what we would consider good character. I think if you want to build upon something, there has to be a foundation. So I think we have to seek out what we mean by character. And I know we use that term loosely, but there's got to be absolutely some descriptors that put us in the category of good character. In other words, that might mean somebody who keeps their word, somebody who always tells the truth, somebody who's friendly. I don't know what the categorization could be, but I think we need to start there, and I think you need to adopt a model. You know, for me, it's the Bible.
Yes, sir.
You know, somebody else, it might be John Maxwell.
Yeah.
You know, but I think we can start there.
Okay, great. Now, when we talked about in the last episode, we talked about how good character is not the result of good intentions, it's the result of good decisions.
Yeah.
And your ability to make good decisions, even when pressure is pressed upon you. And I think that's a description, or that's a sign of a person with good character, because it's easy to make the decision when there's nothing maybe you have to sacrifice. There's nothing that could possibly not maybe go in your best interest. But a person with character, no matter the pressure, no matter what they have to make that decision through, they're able to make the right decision. What are maybe some safeguards or some things that you might have in place to help you make the right decision no matter the circumstance?
And you brought out something important. I want to touch on this before I answer your question. You said when pressure is applied, what we do is consider character. I think what you just said is huge. I want to emphasize what Marcus just told us, because oftentimes we can get these two words confused. We can get personality and character confused, right? So character is who you really are when the pressure's on you. You've been teaching us that. But personality is what you show people, right, to survive or get them to like you. But personality can't survive crisis. Personality can't survive pressure. So when the pressure's on, and I've done a lot of marital counseling, and it's so interesting when I get in the marital counseling session, people will say, well, he's not who I thought he was. She's not who I thought she was. And I'm knowing in the back of my mind it's because you married personality.
Oh,
there wasn't enough pressure in y'all's relationship to reveal who they truly were. So you got to be careful that you're not marrying personality and that you really get into a person's character. But to answer your question, to me, those safeguards for your character, to me, are your morals and values. And those morals, those things that you are definitely, no matter what, and I think you talked about this last week, not willing to compromise on. And definitely your values, and those can come from your family, those can come from the Word of God, and those can come from people who are in your inner circle, who you trust, that aren't afraid to tell you the truth. You know, so morals, values, and definitely ethics.
Wow, and you said something that was very powerful at the end, which we wanted to talk about this. You know, marrying personality versus character, man.
I've seen a lot of that,
man. And like you said, man, personality cannot stand a crisis. So in essence, what you're saying is that problems and struggles actually is what manifests or reveal a person's character.
Absolutely.
You can't say you know a person's character until you've seen what they've gone through, or maybe how they handle a situation. That's powerful.
And that wasn't meant to be a bad thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you need pressure
Absolutely.
on coals to get diamonds.
Absolutely.
Right, so it wasn't meant to be a bad thing.
No, man. If you look at how the Roman soldiers, how their swords were made, it was actually through the testing and the beating of the metal and how they had to heat it up to get those impurities out. So I understand the trouble is what we really look at, and most people run away from that.
Right.
And that's good. That's a good place to develop.
Right.
Good character
Absolutely.
is how you handle trouble, how you handle pressure. And you said something about having friends. Something that I've learned that is maybe not necessary for the whole journey, but it's necessary for the beginning, and that's to have accountability partners.
Yes, Lord.
I think if you're wanting to develop good character, you need to have an accountability partner, a person that's going to hold you accountable until you can hold yourself accountable.
Say that again.
Yeah, accountability partners is something that you have to have that's going to hold you accountable until you're able to hold yourself accountable. And really, when you're able to hold yourself accountable, that is good character.
Now, Marcus, you just said something. I want the people to hear. I want you to help us right here. What are some ways that I can know when it's time, when I'm ready to hold myself accountable?
Okay, you can know when you're ready.
Yeah,
is when you have that thought, that feeling to do the opposite, but you still remain consistent with your values and your convictions. Because let's face it, we're always going to have that. Well, I could do this, I should do this. But a person of character is a person that was willing to sacrifice to support his values.
Wow.
And that's when you know that you've reached that place that you hold yourself accountable. And I've learned this. Sometimes the people that can hold others accountable have trouble holding themselves accountable. Letting themselves off the hook.
Right.
So if you know
That's
you have
good.
a tendency to let yourself off the hook, whether it be finances, if you're trying to develop your finances, if you're trying to build, maybe your health or something, and okay, well, man, I say I'm gonna get up at 4 o'clock and go to the gym. If you notice where, hey, maybe it's 4:30, you still in the bed, get your accountability partner. An accountability partner is not the same as somebody who gives you advice. Accountability partner is where you share what you want to do or what you don't want to do, and you let that person hold you accountable.
I like that.
You let that person know your decisions, and that person can, hey, well, you said you're gonna get up at 4 o'clock.
So you can't use a yes man. That can't be accountability partner.
No. That's a cheerleader.
Right.
That's somebody to keep you encouraged. No, you need somebody that's gonna say, hey, bro.
That's a cheerleader. Yeah.
You said 4 o'clock. So besides accountability partner, what else do you think is important to build and develop good character?
I think patience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think it doesn't happen overnight, and I think and you said something important. We don't need to let ourselves off the hook when it comes to doing the things that we said we're going to do, but we do need to be patient with ourselves when we make mistakes, and when we falter, especially when we're working towards being more accountable. So be patient with yourself. You didn't become unaccountable overnight, and becoming accountable probably won't be an overnight process. So learning to be patient with yourself, but be honest with yourself, and don't lie to yourself. And like you said, let yourself off the hook. So yeah, the patience is a big key. But as you gain that momentum, as you exercise those daily habits of when you've done the right thing and you get self-satisfaction first. Forget what other people are saying.
Wow.
When you get satisfied within yourself because I've done the right thing multiple times, you'll gain that self-confidence and encouragement to keep doing it. So yeah, that patience is huge, man.
And I think that's powerful. You said don't get down on yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of times,
It's easy too.
It's very easy. Very easy. And I tell you, man, when you get caught up in that, getting down on yourself, it only hinders you moving forward. Just like, God says mercies are new every day.
Yeah.
Hey, if you forgot to do something yesterday or something, pick yourself up. Hey, make it happen today.
Right.
This is something that we hear talk about a lot. How important is discipline in developing good character?
Yeah, I don't think you have a good character without discipline.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't, because to me, discipline is making a choice when the alternative presently seems like it's would benefit you more.
Say that again so they can write that down, and I need to write that down.
So discipline is picking the right thing, and I'm explaining what I mean by the right thing. The right thing when there is a present alternative available that may seem beneficial. Like at the moment, it may seem like if it's going to feel good or taste good or whatever the case may be, but it's not what you're supposed to be doing. And so this is what I mean, Pastor. I think what we've gotten sidetracked sometimes is with doing good stuff. Like, because we said it was good and we did it, we feel like it should bring us results. And that's not necessarily so. You could be doing a good thing, but it's not the right thing. And the right thing is what we should be picking. So there's three choices. There's the wrong thing. Obviously, we know what's wrong. There's a good thing, which is a horrible substitute for the right thing, because picking right sometimes might mean it doesn't feel good. But when you get great at always picking the right thing, then that's discipline.
Wow.
That's discipline.
So you're saying you have to be able to differentiate the three choices and be able to examine and make sure that it's the right thing.
Right. One is easy because we know when it's wrong. Right.
Absolutely.
So if we pick that, we know it wasn't because it was a gray area. But it's the good and the right. And you got to be careful with the good, because good is masked as right, but it doesn't bring results.
Wow.
You know. So you've heard stories of people who spent their whole life doing something, and we look at it, we like, man, I wish I could have done that, or I love what they've done. And you sit back and interview them, and they'll say, you know what, I've been doing this for 30 years. This is never what I wanted to do. It's never what I was called to do. But I made a lot of money doing it. That was good. But was that what you're supposed to be doing? No, you're supposed to be working with those children.
So that means, you know, when you're able to make the right thing, you're not I guess compromising your convictions. Like, you know, this is the right thing. And you say that takes discipline.
That takes discipline.
I agree with you. You can't have good character without discipline.
Amen.
I completely agree with you. And one of the things I realize with growing, developing good character, don't be afraid to have rhythm.
Oh,
you know, don't be afraid to create a pattern, you know, of being able, like you said, to examine your choice, whether it's good or whether it's right, and then making that particular choice. Because a lot of times people want to be spontaneous and impulsive.
Right.
One of my good friends, Bishop Cooper,
Yeah.
He said something that's so powerful. He said, you would rather live by principle than to die by impulse. And sometimes when you're talking about developing good character,
yes, sir,
you're not an impulsive person.
Right.
You know, you're not just doing something. It's like you have a reason to what you're doing. You have a long-term goal in mind. When you think of, you know, kind of developing a sense of rhythm, a sense of making the right choice and how you make the right choice, one of the things I think about is you got to have safeguards to help you make the right choice, like accountability partners. But also, when you're developing good character, you got to have safeguards as in certain things you just won't do.
That's it.
You know, certain things you just can't participate in.
You're just not gonna cross. Right.
Exactly.
Like
because you know that if you sit around it long enough, you know that it's going to influence your thought patterns, and it could easily cause you to make the wrong decision. And I've seen it happen. You know, people, you know, hang around people for so long, and you know, you hang out with somebody. Eventually, you're gonna start talking, acting, doing certain things
you said you wouldn't do.
Exactly. And the next thing you know, be like, man, I can't believe I did that. But I think if you identify that early, but you can't identify what's hindering or what could stop your good character until you can basically say what you want to accomplish.
So, Pastor, do you think that there is a blind spot that maybe those that are our accountability partners can see that we can't, that we need to depend on?
Yes. I think it is a blind spot. When you have an accountability partner, you have to have a sense of humility. And you have to have a sense of being transparent because let's face it, if you can't see your blind spot and your accountability can't see it, you're more likely to fall. You're more likely to actually have that blind spot cause a hindrance. But you got to have somebody that can challenge you. You know, that old scripture that says iron sharpeth iron.
Right.
A lot of times people don't realize that that's friction. You got to have somebody that can challenge you and be like, hey, you know, you said you were going to do this. But a person that is wanting to develop good character does not get offended. They appreciate that, you know what?
Because of their humility.
Exactly.
Right.
You got to throw pride out the window. You know, you cannot be a prideful person and saying that you want to develop good character, because if you're the only person that you answer to, you're the gauge, you're the standard, it's easy to let yourself off the hook. A lot of times people, you know, I don't want to tell nobody my dream. I don't want to tell anybody what I want to do. then how do you know that you're going to make the right decision?
Right.
Who's going to hold you accountable? And yes, we know God is looking down.
Right.
You know, we know God is with us.
Right.
But you need somebody in the earth realm.
That's right, in the flesh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Somebody to be like, hey, you know, you said you were going
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah.
Be a person of good character,
Yeah.
and I think those things are important. So, to bring us home and to wrap up the show, what's something that you want to leave the audience with?
I think accountability has been the key word for us today.
Okay.
And I just been hearing that as you've been talking. Maybe your next step for you becoming a better leader or entering to the realm of leadership, it's been difficult for you to do by yourself. It's probably because you need somebody else on board. Like you need somebody else who's gone where you're trying to go. You need an accountability partner. So I want to just encourage the people to go seek one out. There's multiple ways that you can do that. Maybe that's for another show, but you probably need an accountability partner to help you get over this hump. So don't be afraid to reach out, and it's going to take an act of humility, but I'm telling you, you'll be the better for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we want to just make sure that you guys stay connected with us. Please, if you like the content, comment. Please subscribe, share, because we believe that information is the pathway to the next level of where you're going. Definitely. And we know that the leaders that we're speaking to, we're all about leading,
definitely,
and leaving a legacy. So man, be blessed, be encouraged. We'll see you next episode.